30M, girlfriend, 25F. Thinks I cheated on her and dumped me. What can I do? Hi. My GF of a year think I cheated on her and has broken up with me, and I want to know if there is a chance we could get back together. The story. I met this girl about a year or little more, and she's everything I ever wanted and wished for, pretty, intelligent, and we share most of our interests including music, goals, hobbies and humor. She has 2 degrees and a master's degree. She has a degree in teaching, a degree in English and a master's in teaching higher education. We are Mexicans living in Mexico BTW. I only have 1 degree. I am a GRAL practitioner looking to enter a residence. Anyway, I have an ex, 47F. Who I hadn't talked in years, 1.5 years maybe 2. And I wondered how she was with the pandemic, even if she was alive. So I sent her a message through IG, and a song about reminiscing old times about a month ago and forgot about it. Now my girlfriend teaches in a rural town and stays in the city weekends, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. My ex showed up at my house unannounced last Thursday and we started to chat and catch up, outside my house. I didn't let her in, and 15 minutes in my girlfriend showed up also unannounced. She got Friday off and wanted to surprise me and saw us talking outside. My ex quickly just drove off after introducing her to my girlfriend, and my girlfriend just did the same and broke up with me. The next day I went to her home and she thinks I cheated on her with my ex. And to top things up, my ex contacted her through IG and showed her the message and song, and now she blocked me on everything. I love her deeply and we were serious, thinking of getting married and everything. I feel like thrash because even if I didn't cheat on her, I was stupid for even contacting this person, and I know how it looks like. What can I do to get her to forgive me and get back? Is it even possible? Or likely? I feel too much sadness and desperation. Too long did not read. My girlfriend thinks I cheated and broke up with me. What can I do? You brought your ex-girlfriend into your current relationship, and she has gleefully destroyed it. Learn from the experience and don't go around your current GFs back with your exes anymore. Nothing. You were reaching out to ex-girlfriends and sending songs about reminiscing? Why were you reminiscing about the good old days if things are so good now? You wouldn't be. This smacks of having your cake and wanting to eat more. She doesn't think you cheated, she sees you're sniffing. If you are sniffing elsewhere, then you aren't worth her time. She's not coming back. I mean, you didn't cheat, but contacting an ex is a serious boundary for many women. Reason enough to break up, I guess. You messed up, sorry. Am I, 30F. Being stalked by my neighbor, 35M. So I know this sub sways towards advice on romantic relationships, but I have more of a basic human interaction quandary. I, 30F. Moved into my current apartment this past summer. One day in early September, I was in the elevator with this man who I will call Bob, 35M. He looked like a typical white-collar professional guy in his mid-30s. We got off at the same floor and he was very friendly and asked if I was new to the building. He introduced himself and we went our separate ways. We live in opposite sides of the elevator bank. Note that I'm a rather shy person and don't really enjoy making small talk with strangers, so I don't think I came off as overly friendly or anything. After this first introduction, I saw him in passing a few times, like in our building's gym and the lobby, and we always said hi as neighbors usually do. Fast forward a few weeks and a food delivery person leaves food at my door that I didn't order. The ticket has my apartment number on it though, so I decide to bring it to the doorman so he can track down the rightful owner. As I'm waiting for the elevator, Bob appears and explains that it's his food and there must have been a glitch in Uber Eats. He proceeded to give me his phone number so I could text him in case it ever happened again. Now that was in late September, and since then, this has happened almost weekly. I stopped even coming out of my apartment to hand the food to Bob. I just text him and tell him to take it from outside my door where the delivery people leave it. I asked him to contact Uber Eats help or to try delete and re-add his address, but it kept happening. So I thought this was quite strange and annoying. However, things have since escalated. I went home to my parents for a few weeks around Christmas. On Christmas Eve, I get a message from Bob on LinkedIn of all platforms. He wrote, "Hey, let's chat sometime, coffee?" Quote. As I was with my family enjoying Christmas festivities and I don't want to get coffee with him, I decided not to answer. Literally minutes after he sends this message, I get a text message from him asking if I am available for coffee, or something else, because he has a wonderful idea. I respond saying, "I'm not available, but what's up?" I was thinking he had a solution for fixing the Uber Eats conundrum. He proceeds to tell me he feels like he needs to vent to someone and asks if I can meet tomorrow, aka on Christmas? I tell him I am tied up with family stuff. He then responds saying, "I can come to you. Are your parents still in town where my parents live?" I never told him I was at my parents' nor where they live, where I grew up. Shivers literally ran down my spine and I told a white lie saying, "No, they don't live there anymore and I really can't since it's Christmas, sorry." A few days go by and on New Year's Eve out of the blue he texts me again saying, "I can pass by at 8 a.m. if that is okay with you, just let me know." Like WTF? 1. I don't hang out with anyone at 8 a.m. especially on Nye, and 2. What does he need to see me so urgently about? I barely know him. I responded saying I am out of town still. He responded asking me to let him know when I'm back, which I obviously haven't done. So I've been back for about a week and luckily I haven't gotten any food deliveries yet, but I'm really creeped out and on edge whenever I'm leaving my apartment. Maybe he is going through some kind of tough time and needs someone to talk to, but there has to be someone he knows better than me? Together with the incessant contact due to the erroneous food deliveries, I feel like he is being creepy. Is he, or am I blowing things out of proportion? My guy friend told me I am overreacting and he is probably just interested in me romantically and I should just be straightforward and tell him I don't want to hang out and to stop texting me. Should I be worried? What should I do? Too long did not read. I'm not sure if my neighbor is lonely, hitting on me, or stalking me. Advice, please. Posting on behalf of my friend for security purposes. To be honest, it doesn't really matter whether this constitutes stalking in any technical sense of the term. You, your friend, are clearly uncomfortable with this behavior and you need to tell him in no uncertain terms to stop. If that doesn't work, then you can start thinking about getting authorities involved. Though from what I've heard, they are not often effective. You are not overreacting. Regardless of his intent, the guy's behavior is creepy and inappropriate. I don't know if he is stalking you or not, but send him a message that his behavior is not okay. Add that going forward, you will not give him wrongly delivered orders from anywhere, so he needs to fix the address and that you have no desire to speak to him. Ignore any messages he sends back. I wouldn't say to block him just in case so you have the records of what he says. 28F. I'm a huge crier and it's impacting my relationship with my fiancé, 26M. Fiancé and I have been together for 4.5 years. Getting married in 2 months. I'm a huge crier. I cry for everything, happy things, sad things, stressful things. Especially right before or during my period, damn PMS. That being said, it has gotten a lot better. I used to cry several times a week and now it's only a couple times a month. Therapy and medication for my anxiety has led to a reduction in my tears. But I am naturally a very sensitive person. And #X200B. However, I still struggle with crying when I disagree with my fiancé and it does make him sad. He is not a crier at all and I think I've only seen him cry twice in nearly 5 years together. For him, crying means you're really sad. But for me, it can be very hard for me to control. It's a stress response and automatic. It is not manipulative at all. It's my response to heightened anxiety. And #X200B. My fiancé has told me that this bothers him and he wants to have a mature discussion whenever we have a disagreement. He never yells at me or raises his voice. He is very mature in these discussions and doesn't let my crying stop the discussion. But it still does make him sad. I told him that I would work really hard on this, and it has gotten better. But there are still times where I find myself automatically crying during a disagreement. And #X200B. For example, last night we talked about a very expensive hobby that he wanted to begin. We can afford it, although we have other things to spend the money on. However, the biggest issue is safety. It can be a dangerous hobby. He has been interested in this for a few months and I used to be really supportive. I didn't know it was dangerous. But last night, I actually looked up the safety of this hobby for the first time. And it was nowhere near as safe as I thought. Of course, my mind then went to him dying and that caused me to cry. Just imagining a life without him really upset me understandably. So, when I brought it up to him that I no longer felt comfortable with him pursuing this hobby, I couldn't help the tears. I cried for 2 reasons. 1, thinking about him dying and not growing old together made me really sad, and 2, I felt really bad because I was previously super supportive of this hobby and now I'm going a 180 after I actually did my research and I felt horrible about being one of those partners that doesn't let their partner pursue their hobbies. And #X200B. Fortunately, he understood where I was coming from and agreed with me. So we came up with a compromise. But he did say that he wishes we could have spoken about this better without me crying. And #X200B. Is this something that I can stop, and if so, how? Or is this something that he should learn to deal with, accept? I cry a few times each week when I'm talking to my husband about serious stuff or just when I feel really happy about us being together. I'm a crier. He knows this and accepts it. My dog gets concerned, however, and tries to comfort me. It's just something your partner is going to have to learn to accept about you. Crying a few times a month isn't bad. And it sounds like you're working on yourself in therapy. DBT can help you with that emotional regulation. Maybe discuss that with your therapist? My girlfriend rejects guys in her own way. 21M, 23F. So OFC, like any other guy with an attractive GF, my girlfriend gets hit on by other dudes in public. One of the primary ways she rejects them is by giving them a fake number instead of saying that she have a BF. The first time she did that and told me, I didn't really agree. I thought, why is she even entertaining it? Or, just tell them you have a boyfriend and go on with your day. But she says that the men nowadays don't care about that. I feel like that is true to some extent, but I also feel like most men would take the hint and leave. I don't know if I'm overreacting, or this is some hidden trust issues or insecurities. Any advice from the women or men? I also feel like most men would take the hint and leave. Then you don't know most men who hit on women. Many women, myself included, can tell you from personal experience that informing a guy you have a boyfriend very rarely does a damn thing. A lot of men simply don't care if the girl they're hitting on is in a relationship. On the flip side, some men will literally call your number as you stand next to them after they hit on you to see if the number's fake or not. If they don't do that, though, she's home free. You should trust your girlfriend's approach to handling situations like this. She is, unfortunately, the expert. There is absolutely nothing wrong with how she's responding.